Hello! We are back here. I'm making sure Ghastly is in the lead. Alright, we have Ilex Forest, which is, as you can tell, one of those rare forests with no grass, yet we run into wild Pokemon. It's kind of weird. And there's a lot of returning Pokemon from previous routes, but there are, in fact, some new Pokemon. Which is good and bad, because sometimes, I don't know. Every now and then I kind of feel like, man, I've never really given this Pokemon a chance. Maybe I should use it, but then again, I don't want to be caught using a Paris everywhere. So, if you couldn't guess from that, there are 3 new Pokemon. 2 are Crystal exclusive, or I believe. I'm actually gonna go into it in a second, but this guy is complaining about Farfetch'd running away. And we're just gonna go find it. That's basically what we're doing right now. And if we do it, we get a way to cut down trees, which is always nice. But there's Paris, which is a bug grass type, which is terrible typing. And as I said, all the way in the 1st gen, and I'll say it again in 3rd gen, and I'll say again in 4th gen, and I'll say again in 5th gen, and 6th gen, and 7th gen. There's no point to pick this up for any team. Even the special use it has with Spore is useless, just because it's not worth having that terrible typing. It's slow. It doesn't help in the long run. It's not a great Pokemon. We're gonna fully explore the forest, of course, but and then we have a Crystal exclusive, of course. I'm not even gonna go into Paris anymore. I'm just already done with it, and I haven't even seen one. But this is Crystal exclusive. I believe these are both nighttime, if I remember. I don't know if the next one I just remember seeing it only at nighttime a while ago. But Venonat is here, which is a poison bug type, which is kind of and later becomes decent. Here it's decent-ish. It gets psychic moves in its repertoire, which is kind of strange. It gets some powders. Overall, it's not a bad Pokemon. It evolves into Venomoth, alright. Well, decently, not alright. But it's not the worst team member. There's just a lot of better poison types out there that can learn psychic moves. By TM anyway. And overall, it's just, I don't know really. It's just, what's the word? It's kind of lackluster. That's the word I'm going for. We do have to switch to kill this because we still don't have another move. But this one I'm pretty sure is only at night. This is Psyduck, pure water type. It's an average run-of-your-mill water type. I don't know what else to say, really. It's alright. It gets some... Everyone thinks it's a water psychic type for some reason, but it's not. By the way, I don't remember if this is actually a puzzle or not. But I'm just kind of going with the flow while I'm talking. Yeah, and of those 3 Pokemon, if you're interested in any of them, I'd recommend Venonat and then Psyduck next. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you pick up a Magikarp, don't evolve it, you pick up a Paris, and you evolve it, and it's still somehow worse than a Magikarp, and you get a Sunkern and call yourself the greatest team ever. Oh, don't I have to chase him back to the guy? That's what it was. Alright. We're just... I don't know which way... you... Okay. So it's... Okay, it's based on where you're facing. I remember. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you just have to, like, find your way to get to the back of them. And that's the one I remember better. because I played that one more recently. This game has been a healthy few years. That's for sure. It's actually kind of weird because I've played probably every other game. Howdy, it's me, Wade. I found all kinds of berries. He will share with us, and that has Union Cave on its way. I'm gonna just circle this guy all the way around. But back to the phone calls. Excuse me. But he of course called us, and he has a berry, and unlike in future like phone systems like the PokeNav or heck even the Pokegear and the later remake of this has an expiration date, and it's not as like easy to tell, but it goes with any type of day change will sometimes flip it. I know it's not 100%, and that's why I'm saying this. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. I'm not having this happen again. But I do know for a fact though that when you trade a Pokemon, your phone calls, like past rematches, do get erased. I remember having that happen to me. I don't know if it's happens regularly or what, because I only have it happen to me once, but you know. I also haven't really talked about genders now that I think of it, which is something that was introduced, and yeah, probably should talk about that. But actually we'll get out of the way right now, because the egg, if you remember all the times all the way back when we got the egg, to get an egg in this game you have to set 2 Pokemon to breed. Woo! Logic. But you can't just put any Pokemon in there. It doesn't work that way. You're not going to be able to have a Ghastly breed with a Togepi, because Togepi is a baby, and also they're not really, it depends on the gender. It's not going to work. The only Pokemon that can breed with every single Pokemon besides certain unknown Pokemon that aren't allowed to breed, which includes legendaries and a few genderless Pokemon. Alright, you're going this way. Yeah, you're going that way. You can't trick me twice. But Ditto can breed with most of them. And why is this really important? Well, for some Pokemon, namely like Eevee and what was another Pokemon in the past games? Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, which has a baby form now. I'm trying to think of any other version exclusive things that, or not version, but one game exclusives. Fossil Pokemon. This is the only way to get like a true second Pokemon of the same species here. And it makes it easy for collecting multiple save files, and it also makes it freaking irritating, because 100% if I want a Zubat with Hypnosis, I'm breeding. Which is something that I'll get into, because the daycare is actually somewhat nearby. Wow, did I get like a high roll and then a low roll? There's no way that Harden lowered or rose his defense that high. I think I got a low roll. Or maybe I'm just seeing things. Oh well, it's dead. So we're getting Ghastly to a decent level. I think 19 and learns Nightshade. But we have to talk to this guy. Wow, thanks a whole bunch. My boss Pokemon won't obey me because I don't have a badge. And then we talk to this guy. He's like, ha! Thank you. I will give you a HM that is incredibly rare because there's only one of these in existence. HM01 cut, and if you remember all those parts ago, it's actually only be like 7, I think. Well, maybe if I went to the right goddamn icon, we could actually move forward. Buddha and HM teach cut. Cool, I was able to learn it, but as I will say right now, and I will warn you, just in case you do not know, when you learn an HM, you will in fact be unable to forget it, by normal means, and they're pretty useless in battle. There's only a few that have a special, like, they're worthwhile, Surf being one of them. Strength is alright, but it's only because move pools are kind of terrible right now. And heck, even some Pokemon get screwed for so long. But the reason we're not moving forward into Ilex Forest is because, well, we can move forward right now, but there's something I want to go back and pick up, and I mentioned it last time when we got to this town, or this area, I should say, was charcoal, and I'm not going to pick it up at the Pokemon. I'm going to go heal first, and then I'm going to go down to the right to the blacksmith, which I never showed off originally. And because we helped him and his helper will give us charcoal as thanks, so we didn't have to spend 9,800, which I think we can now afford if the gym and, yeah, with the rival. So if we talk to him, he will in fact give us the charcoal. And this is not really going to help, like, by a huge amount, because these only raise it by 10%. And, oh, it's down here. But it's still 10%, which, you know what? 44 power is better than 40, alright? So that's my mentality. And plus, I'm not going to put anything else on Quilava right now. So, it's not really a big hassle. We're going to move forward a little bit so we can get off this goddamn screen. Cut. And Bellsprout's officially at its max use. Now, this is, something that is not important for us, North America players at all. Because we can't. We just can't. It is important in a couple other scenarios, and I kind of don't want to get into it because it's kind of either A, complicated, or B, over-explained in every other goddamn medium in the world. So, let's just say you can get a legendary Pokemon with the right scenario, right situation, situational use of certain materials in the world to give a very brief and unspecified account of what can happen. And Metapod's dead. Yay! So exciting. Next time we do have plenty to talk about because we're about to get access to a way to kind of collect some pretty useful Pokemon. So that'll be cool. And plus we have another route coming up, and it in fact does hold a new team member in a very unconventional way, but hey, guess what? I'm immune. And I guess on that note, I'll call this a part. I mean, we got to the sign, which does in fact read, Ilex Forest is so overgrown with trees that you can't see the sky. And it's telling us about hidden items, which we will hopefully find some next time. So, let's make it to Goldenrod, I guess. Till then.